The month of November could have been a lot better, but my only goal this month was to hit 5K in total sales. I did that, so that is great. And also this month there was a major life change that will also impact my reselling business in a very big but also good way. So very good things happening over here. At the end of the video, I will talk more about that life update and just share some of the big changes coming to my reselling business. For now, let's get into the high and low price sales, the fast and slow flips, and the final total numbers along with the profits. Starting off with 8 high price sales, and to kick it off, we're going to talk about these beautiful Jeffrey Campbell faux leather large pearl heel ankle booties. They sold on Poshmark for $50. That left me with earnings of $40, and these sold in just one day. Jeffrey Campbell is known for making very unique shoes. I love finding them at the thrift stores. They are usually not priced up, and I know that they're going to go on to do well. I originally priced these booties at $75. I sent out an offer with a shipping discount, which then the buyer countered back with $50, and I went ahead and accepted that because that's still a decent profit. As I said, I don't really pay much for Jeffrey Campbell shoes usually. The other sale we're going to talk about is also a pair of boots, and these are some Western boots. I always have Western boots included in my high profit sales. They are my most profitable category in my shops. So these boots here were the Dingo Western mid-calf black leather studded pull-on cowgirl boots. They sold also on Poshmark for $52. Earnings there was $41.60, and these were listed for 81 days. I hadn't noticed that they had sat around for that long, but in the end it was worth it. That's a decent sale. This is my second time finding this brand. The first time I sold a pair of boots by them for $40, so I listed these at $52, hoping to get somewhere around the $40 range again. But luckily for me, someone bought them outright at the $52 price, so that worked out well. Number 6, we have a jacket this time. On Poshmark, I sold this Eddie Bauer Goose Down puffer jacket. It was black quilted, and it was a men's winter coat. This sold for $55, which left me earnings of $44. And this was listed for 17 days. I leave a lot of Eddie Bauer behind at the thrift store. A lot of it is just not worth that much. But when it comes to a winter puffer coat, I am willing to pick it up and even pay up for it. I'll pay up to $10, $12, even up to $15 if the style is a very good one and if the size is a larger one, because I just know they're going to flip for high amounts. Next up on the list, number 5, again on Poshmark, we have this Vince Camuto velvet fuchsia pink spaghetti strap maxi dress gown. It sold for $55 as well, and it left me earnings of $44, and this one only took 30 days to sell. Like Eddie Bauer, Vince Camuto is a brand that I leave behind at the thrift store a lot. I've been burned by them many times. I've bought dresses that sat for a long time and sold for very little. I actually have one dress that I need to delist from my platforms and just redonate it because it doesn't get much attention. It just looks like it's not going anywhere. And I had actually initially left this dress behind. I made my way around the entire thrift store, came back to it, and I just could not bring myself to leave it behind that second time. It was only $4. It was a beautiful color. It was that velour fabric. It was a long type gown. I just thought this has to sell for something. And since the price wasn't that much, I was willing to take that gamble, and I'm lucky that I listened to my gut on this one because it went on to do really well. This next sale was also partly me going with my gut, and that was also on Poshmark. It was these Corkies. They were called the Niseda dress shoes, brown leather Mary Jane Oxfords. They sold for $55 again, earnings $44. and these did sell the same day. The reason I was debating picking up these shoes was the price. They were $18 at the thrift store. The only thing I'm used to paying up that much for are boots when it comes to shoes. But I went ahead and did some comps. It looked like I was pushing it after looking at the comps, but I've had great experience with these type of shoes and this brand in the past. So I decided to just give it a shot and go for it. And again, my gut was right on this one. That was a quick, good flip. And Corky's usually is. I just don't pay up for it that much. I can usually get it for like $7 to $8, but for some reason these were priced up that much. But moving on to the next one, number 3, we have a sale finally on another platform. This time it's on eBay, and it was this baby fat Y2K winter jacket. It was brown with metallic fur lined hooded puffer coat. It sold for $65.59, and that's shipping included. After fees and everything, my final earnings was $47.34, and this jacket sold in 11 days. I paid about $10 for this coat, and I got it because it just checked off so many boxes. The puffer coats are a big Bolo brand during the cold weather months. It was also a beautiful dark brown color with the metallic accents. The lining was all fur lined. The Y2K style is still going strong right now. And to top it off, it was an extra large. So that is a great size in puffer coats. For all of those reasons, this jacket was a definite yes. Number 2, again on eBay, we have these Taos Combat Bronze Lace-Up Mid-Calf Buckle Boots. They sold for $95.79. My final earnings there was $73.72, and these boots took a total of 19 days to sell. This one I actually made a big mistake with. When I listed them, I put them as the brand Nout, which is another comfort shoe brand that I love picking up, always does well, but these were actually Taos. Luckily, the lady noticed before buying. She sent me a message saying these boots are actually Taos, not Nout, but I'm going to go ahead and purchase them and hopefully they work out. But before she even messaged me, I had no idea. And it's no wonder when I was listing the boots, I couldn't find comps anywhere. I was searching for the wrong brand. But in the end, I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad she noticed before purchasing, because that sale could have gone sideways. But when it comes to Taos, it is a very good brand to pick up. I've never found boots by them before, but during the spring and summer, I did sell a few sandals by this brand, and they did really good. Okay, number 1, on Poshmark, we have these Lane Stud Rocker Western studded knee-high cowgirl harness boots. They sold for $100. Earnings there was $80, and these boots were listed for 46 days. I was aiming really high with these boots. I initially listed them at $240, and the person who bought these boots had actually contacted me months before. They sent me an offer for about $110 to $115. I was trying to get them to go up to $150. In the end, we never settled on a price. The offers expired, and then I heard from them a whole month later. They sent me a $100 offer on these boots, and I thought, you know what, it's been a while, they're still not selling. They were getting many likes and watchers on eBay, but no one was willing to buy for that high amount. So I decided to go ahead and take that $100 offer. I only paid $30 for these boots, so in the end, that's still a very good profit. All right, now let's move on to some low profit sales. All of the ones on this list, I probably wouldn't pick up again, except one of them. One of them I intentionally threw in this list to talk more about it. Even though it doesn't leave that much profit, I'm still going to be picking it up in the future. Starting off with the first one though, it was on Poshmark, and it was this Under Armour pullover dusty blue drop shoulder fleece logo sweatshirt. It sold for only $5. The earnings there was $2.05. The worst part of it all, it took 394 days to sell. I lost $11 on this item, and that is because of the high cost of goods. I got this item in a Jamar wholesale box, and I think this is about the last time I'm going to mention Jamar, because all of those things that I got from them have either sold or I have them set aside in this box where I'm going to delist as soon as I get the time, or take them to a consignment shop like Plato's Closet. This sweater was about to be added to that box, so when someone sent me this $5 offer, I just went ahead and took it because I was going to take it to Plato's Closet anyway, and if they didn't take it, it was just going to be redonated. So I thought, why not make at least a couple bucks back from my investment on this sucky Jamar box. The next sale was actually a two-piece bundle. They were both low profit, so we're going to talk about them together. The first piece in that bundle was a Lane Bryant v-neck long sleeve top. The second piece was an Eloquii puff sleeve ribbed knit top. Both together, these tops sold for $20, so $10 each. The earnings was $14.10, so $7.05 for each top. Let's first talk about that Eloquii piece. Eloquii is a plus size brand that I love to pick up, and this style was spot on. That cream color is a popular one that people like to buy. The size was great because it was larger as well. It was ribbed and it had that feature of the puff sleeves, which is also really popular. I expected to get anywhere from $16 to $18 for this top, but I went ahead and let it go at $10 just because it was in a bundle with the Lane Bryant top, which was a terrible buy. I consider Lane Bryant to be one of my bread and butter brands. I do pick it up and sell it often, but this top right here is just a good representation of what not to pick up by this brand. The top was just way too simple, and it had a lot more wear than I would have liked. I didn't check it properly. I didn't think it through very well at the thrift store, so it was a mistake on my part. I anticipated this top sitting in my closet for a long time, so when I saw the opportunity to get rid of it in this bundle, I went ahead and took it. Moving on to the next one, it's this Hollister long sleeve pullover men's Henley shirt. It sold on Poshmark for $11. The earnings was $8.05, and this sat around for 386 days. I picked up this item when I was still a rookie sourcer. I didn't really expect much for the piece, but I also didn't think it would sit around for this long either. And this brand, Hollister, actually came up last month, either in the low profit list or the slow moving list, one of those two. Either way, this brand always performs bad. I automatically skip it most of the time. I'm sure there's some exceptions to the brand, but for the most part, it's an automatic skip. I use Closet Clear Out to get rid of this item. Someone liked it. I lowered the price for them, and Poshmark paid part of their shipping, so they got a discount there as well. And that's one major tip I have for you if you're trying to move very old items. Do it on Closet Clear Out Day. Because Poshmark pays part of the shipping, it just gives you a little bit of more room to be extra generous with the discount to get it moving. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I will leave a video I recently did all about Closet Clear Out. You can find it linked right here. There I explain exactly what it is, how it works, and how to use it to move old inventory. Next, we have another bundle, so we're going to do them together again. It was also on Poshmark, and that first item was this Fabletics athletic pull-on active fold-over waist legging pant. The second piece in the bundle was this Young, Fabulous, and Broke tie-dye pullover jersey knit sweatshirt. The bundle sold for $28, so that's $14 each piece. The earnings was $22.10, so that's $11.05 for each, and both of them were listed for about 150 days. When it comes to Fabletics, I keep telling myself that I will not pick up that brand anymore because it just has been performing really bad for me. When I first got started on Poshmark, that was one of the brands that I would get super excited to find because it would be at least quick flips. But nowadays that is not the case, so I really need to be disciplined enough to leave those items behind. I really thought that these pants would do well because I've sold similar styles but in different brands in the past, and I remember them flipping very quick and for decent profit. And when it comes to that sweater, Young, Fabulous, and Broke, that is a brand that I've heard by other resellers that it can do well. This was my first time finding this brand and it didn't pan out too well for me. It could have been the style or maybe the size. Both of the pieces in this bundle were extra small. Maybe if they both were a larger size, like an extra large, they would have at least sold more quickly. The next one on the list, we're on number 2, and this is the one that I'm going to continue to pick up even though the profit is not that much. It was on Poshmark and it was this Life is Good fall pile shirt. It was a men's top and it was long sleeve. It sold for $15. The profit was only $12, but it only took 3 days to sell. So that's the good thing about it. At least it was a quick flip. That's why I'm not too mad at this sale, and it actually performed exactly like I expected it to. I picked up this top for $2 and I expected it to sell anywhere from $15 to $17, but I also knew that it would be a quick flip. I sold 4 other Life is Good t-shirts this month, so I'm going to run through each of them really quick just so that you can get a better idea of how this brand can perform. So that first one was on Poshmark and it was that fall leaf one that sold for $15. On Mercari, I sold a Fish and Gnome graphic one that sold for $15. Then on Poshmark again, we have this strange trip one that sold for $18. And then finally on eBay, we have a dog on the sled. This was a woman's one and it sold for $23 plus shipping. This is a brand that I used to avoid because of the low profit, but I changed my mind on that now. As long as I can find it for $2 to $3, I will pick it up because I know depending on the graphic, it can do well. And it sells on all platforms, so that is great. Okay, the last low profit sale on this list is going to be on Mercari, and it was these Gymshark Flex athletic sculpting leggings. They sold for $15. The earnings there was $14.40 and they were listed for 141 days. This is an athletic brand that I've heard for a very long time can do well. This was my first time finding it, so that was exciting. But when I went on to list it, it got taken down real quick on Poshmark and on eBay. For some reason, not on Mercari. But apparently Gymshark does not play when it comes to their stock photos. They do not want you using them. So next time I will know that and I won't post them. I will just post the item itself. Another brand that's really strict on stock photos is Beyond Yoga. I've had listings taken down by them as well. Although I do see a lot of listings with Beyond Yoga stock photos, and I still have some up myself, but for some reason some of them were taken down. So moving forward, those 2 brands I will not be using stock photos. And when it comes to the Gymshark brand overall, this style did not pan out too well because it sat around for such a long time. But maybe that was because I never relisted the items on Poshmark and eBay when they were taken down. Those were some of the lows of the month. Now let's get back to talking about some of the highs. We're going to discuss 8 sales that sold really fast. We'll start off with 3 that sold in one day, and then we'll move into 5 sales that sold the same day they were listed. Starting off with an eBay sale, it was these Durango Western slip-on leather Chelsea ankle shoe, aka shooty. They sold for $42 and the earnings was $33.60, and it only took one day for these to sell. I don't really remember how much these were exactly, but I do remember they were priced high, maybe like $12 or so. So I was really debating whether to pick them up or not. I was doing comps and it just didn't look too well, but I do well with Western shoes. I decided to go ahead and pick them up. I listed them for $42, expecting to get at least $34 for them. In the end, someone bought them full price, so that worked out really well for me in the end. And again, this is another item that I trusted my intuition on. The next one is on eBay as well. It was these Matilda Jane ruffle flowy pull-on wide leg crop pants. Shipping included. These sold for $37.99. Earnings was $28.13, and again sold really fast in just one day. Matilda Jane is one of my favorite brands to pick up. I usually only come across their dresses though. They make beautiful floral dresses. I find them during the spring and summer and they always go on to do really well. I don't think I've ever found any pants by them, but I like the style of these. It was just very unique. It looked like they may be trendy and they were new with tags. So that's why I decided to pick them up and give them a try. After doing my research when listing these, I found out that these are actually a very popular style by this brand. So in the end, that was a very good pickup. Number 6, we have where did these sell? On Poshmark. These were the GBX motorcycle dark brown leather harness biker men's work boots. These sold for $25. The earnings there was only $20 and they also sold in just one day. I had initially passed up on these shoes because I thought they were G by Guess. I just very quickly looked at the brand tag and assumed that they were that brand, and G by Guess doesn't normally do well, so that's why I passed them up. But I wasn't finding that many things that day at the thrift store. I decided to go back around to the shoe section to see if I missed anything. I came across these again, and because I like the style so much, I decided to do some further investigation. And then I came to realize they weren't the brand I thought they were. I did some comps for this GBX brand on eBay and they seem to be doing fairly decent. These actually had some wear. They had scuffs and peeling on the leather. So I don't think this pair of shoes is a good representation as to how well this brand can do. So I really hope I come across it again in the future, and this time hopefully I can get it in good condition. So those were the 3 one-day sales. Let's move on to 5 that sold the same day. Starting off with an eBay sale. It was this fossil cowhide leather floral print little crossbody bag. It sold for $35.59, and this left me with earnings of $22.53. I was really glad when I came across this bag just because it was so little, so cute. The pattern was a beautiful one as well. I went ahead and bought it because it was only about $4. Unfortunately, when I brought it home and looked over it a little closer, I saw that it had a big slash at the bottom of the purse. So I thought that was going to affect the sale. I thought it would either sell for a very low price or it would sit around for a while. But I was wrong. It sold within like 30 minutes of listing it and for a very good price. Another item I was wrong about is this other fossil large blue leather satchel purse. It sold on Poshmark for $36. I thought it was going to sit around for a bit longer than fossil purses usually do, because it wasn't your typical neutral color like a brown or a black. But this purse also sold the same day that I listed it, and I listed it along with that small fossil purse. They both did really well in the end, and fossil purses don't usually perform like this for me. I have sold them for good money in the past, but not usually this fast. I guess both of these purses were more unique than I thought. Number 4, on Poshmark, we have this Free People black speckled chunky knit cow neck oversized tunic sweater. And this sweater actually sold in a 5-piece bundle. In the end, it worked out to be $28.80 a piece. It left me with earnings of $23.04 for this sweater, and this also sold the same day. I usually do very terrible with free people. It's so hit or miss for me, but with this sweater I was actually quite confident because of the style of it. It being oversized, that's a popular style. The color was beautiful too. It was cow neck, that chunky knit, that does well during this season. And also the comps were looking really good for this sweater, and I actually expected to get more for it, but since it was bundled up with other items that have been sitting in my closet for a while, and in the end, the average sale price for all the items in that bundle was still going to be decent, I went ahead and took this sale. Moving on though to number 3 on Mercari, we have this Maeve by Anthropologie faux wrap pullover white ribbed sweater top. It sold for $26, which left me with earnings of $12.35. Those earnings definitely seem wrong. That's what I have in my notes, but if it is, I'll put up the actual earnings here on the screen. Maeve is one of my favorite brands by Anthropologie. I very rarely leave it behind when I find it. It has to be in terrible condition for me to pass it up. So brand for this piece played a major role, but also the size as well as the color. As I talked about earlier, that cream color does really good. Then on eBay, we have this Madewell short sleeve white mustard yellow boxy casual top. It sold for $24.54, which left me with earnings of $17.88, and again sold same day. I actually found this top in the maternity section of the thrift store. I ended up getting it for me, but when I brought it home, I just didn't like the way it fit. I didn't like how high the neck was and just the boxy fit of it. So I listed it just to get my money back on this top, maybe a few bucks in profit. My expectations were way low for this top just because I thought it was really simple. It wouldn't go for much, it'd sit for a while, but I guess you never really know what people are out there looking for. It sold within an hour of listing. Next on Poshmark, we have these Clark slouchy black suede leather ankle booties. They sold for $25, which left me with earnings of $20, and they sold the same day. I've gotten really picky with Clarks. I'm looking for only shoes that are in excellent condition for more recent styles, and boots. Those I will still pick up because those are still performing okay. I initially listed these boots for $34 and I used closet clear out to get them sold for $25. Let's move on to learn from our mistakes. We're going to talk about 8 sales that took a really long time to sell. And pretty much all of these in this list are items that I picked up last winter that I ended up selling real cheap in bundles, or I relisted them at a lower price to try to get them sold before this winter is up, because I definitely do not want to move into next year still holding on to 2021 pieces. Starting off with number 1, it's on Poshmark, and it was this quilted faux fur trim full zip winter puffer vest. It sold for $15.66. Earnings was $12.53, and this thing was listed for 450 days. This vest sold in a bundle with 2 other pieces, which those 2 others were also listed for a very long time. I am planning on making a video all about bundles and how to use them to make more sales. In the meantime though, you can check out this video. It's my most recent one called 10 Reasons Your Items Are Not Selling on Poshmark. In there is a section where I give a broad overview on bundles and how to use them to move out old items. This item though, I did get for free, and I just thought, you know what, I have nothing to lose by listing it. Since it was that puffer style, I thought it would do okay, but in the end, I didn't lose money. I did lose time though, because I relisted this thing many times to finally get it sold. Next on eBay, we have this White House Black Market silk wool blend long sleeve turtleneck sweater dress. It sold for $25.19, which left me with earnings of $12.05. And this sweater took 365 days to sell, a whole year. I never imagined this dress would sit around for this long. This brand, White House Black Market, doesn't always perform the best, but it was a great style of dress, and the material, I mean, it was silk and wool. It was long sleeve. I listed it back in the winter, so I didn't expect it to perform like this. But all year I was relisting it, sending out offers, lowering the price, and the thing would just not budge. In the end, it sold on eBay shortly after relisting it there. Number 6 on eBay as well, we have this Christmas Pug Dog Fair Isle knit embroidered sweater. It sold for $18.69. Earnings was $9.78, and this one was also listed almost a whole year, 358 days. The good thing about this sweater is that the cost of goods was $0 because this is my daughter's old sweater. I bought it for her for a Christmas party at school years ago, and I definitely did not want to move into next year still holding on to this sweater. So I went ahead and relisted the item and lowered the price, and luckily someone ended up buying it on eBay. On Mercari this time, we have this Lativ collection wool blend military chunky knit preppy sweater. This one sold for $22. Earnings was $18.66, and it was listed for 357 days. I listed this one last November. I thought that it had enough good features to get it sold. It was the chunky knit, the military style, the navy blue color, and it was new with tags. But in the end, the brand is just not well known. It's not worth much. So even all of those cool features did not save this sweater. This is one that I should have left behind. Next up on eBay, we have these NYDJ pull-on Ponte stretchy high-rise black legging dress pants. These sold for $14.75, and apparently I had free shipping marked for these. So in the end, my earnings was only $6.43, and they took 351 days to sell. For a while there, I was doing really good with NYDJ jeans. I was finding it very often, flipping it real quick for $30 to $40, sometimes even more. So I guess I just got trigger happy with this brand. I thought all these jeans are doing well, these should do good too, but I was wrong. Nowadays, I'm not finding the brand that much, and when I do, I am more selective with it. I'm looking for newer styles and larger sizes when it comes to that brand. Number 3 on Poshmark, we have this soft surroundings blue cinched midi dress with pockets. It sold for $16.66. Earnings was $13.33, and this dress was listed for 297 days. This is another item that also sold in a bundle. It sold with 2 other pieces for $50, and I find that it often works out that way. It's the oldest pieces that end up selling in bundles. Last year in December too, I ran a sale where you buy one get one half off, and there also my oldest pieces were the ones to sell. And I think that's because sales usually attract bargain hunters, those people who are looking for a great deal and the cheapest items. And in my closet, that's always my oldest items because I'm always discounting them, trying to get them sold. So I think that's why it's the oldest items that end up selling in any kind of sale, which works out good for me because it saves me the trouble of constantly relisting these items or delisting them from all my platforms to take them to a consignment shop. Number 2 on Poshmark, we have these Obermeyer skiing black fleece lined snowboarding pants. They sold for $35. Earnings there was $28, and they were listed for 252 days. I listed these pants back in March, so it only makes sense that they sell till now when we're getting into winter. So I'm not writing off this brand altogether just because these pants sold really slowly. I love finding it and picking it up in their ski pants and in their jackets too. I've had very good experience with it in the past, and it's usually very profitable. This next one though, it's the total opposite. I've had bad experience with it, and I'm going to try to leave this kind of shoes behind. We have these GH Bass & Co. slip-on brown leather comfort loafer dress shoes. They sold for $20. Earnings was $16, and they were listed for 330 days. I've picked up this brand about 10 other times in the past. In that mix, there are some that did okay. There's this style by this brand called the Weejunes. Those can do really well. I've had some boots do okay too. But when it comes to these older styles, the loafer type, those tend to sit for a very long time and sell for very little. All right, let's talk about the total sales for the month. I made a total of $5,104 on all platforms for the month of November. The earnings after the platform fees and after shipping costs was $3,840, and my cost of goods for everything that sold this month was $1,113, which left me with a final profit of $2,726. My overall numbers did drop by a few $100s, but once we finish talking about the rest of the numbers, I'll explain a little bit as to why I think that happened. Breaking down those numbers by platform, on Poshmark I sold $2,975. So that's where part of the drop happened. I sold a lot less on Poshmark this month than I did in October. eBay though picked up a little bit of slack because there I sold a total of $1,475. That's about a $100 increase from last month, and it's also the new record again for the amount of sales on eBay in a single month, which that makes me really happy. I'm excited to see eBay grow and grow each month. As far as Mercari, it's just being Mercari, just coasting by. It hasn't gotten any better, but the good thing is that my sales there have not dropped any further either. Sales over there this month was $654. For the month of November, I listed a total of 186 items. That's about 6 items a day, which is not where I want to be, but slowly we are making progress towards that 7 to 8 average daily listings. Total items sold was 183, which is also about 6 sales a day, which I think is the same or almost the same amount of sales as I had last month. But even so, the overall numbers still dropped because my average selling price dropped to $28.20. And I think that's mainly because I was discounting my old winter items by a lot, selling them in bundles, and just trying to get older items sold, even if it meant letting them go at very low prices. My average cost of goods dropped as well, so that's a good thing there. It dropped to $6.15. So even though my numbers did drop and they could have been a lot better, I think that's still pretty good, considering that towards the end of the month, I wasn't too focused on my reselling business. I had my mom and younger brother come over for Thanksgiving, and so during those days, I wasn't really listing or relisting that much. I also was not sending out my closet clear out offers in a timely manner. I'm sure if I wouldn't have taken that time off, I could have at least got to the 7 average daily listings a day this month, and my numbers could have been a little bit higher. But the month of December should play out a lot different because of some major changes. First of all, my son has stepped up a lot. He has been helping me take pictures for a very long time, but I would still do some of them every now and then. Now though, he's taking a lot more pictures, and he has also started helping with shipping. So every night he'll pack all of the sales and get them ready, and then the next morning my husband will go drop them off at the post office on his way to taking the kids to school, which is another big change. In the middle of November, my husband quit his job. Since then, he has been getting other job offers, but we have decided to hold it off at least until the beginning of 2023. For now, the rest of December, he will be here at home helping me out with my reselling business. He has also always helped a lot. He would help put up inventory when he had time, and he's always helped out with the packages, taking them on his way to work. But now though, he will be coming with me to source. He's helping me do my weekly numbers. He's also taking pictures along with my son and just learning more about the business overall. I don't know if this change will be a permanent one. for now, we're just trying it out to see if he likes it and just see how it works out overall. But even in this short amount of time, it's already been a huge help, and it's starting to free up a lot more of my time so that I can focus on other parts of the business, like making more videos, creating products, coaching. And as far as reselling, I've been focusing on refining my process, my inventory system, sourcing a lot more, but my main focus has been listing a lot more. Today will be my 5th day in a row that I list 10 items a day. So hopefully we can continue to make that happen for the rest of the month. That's one of the major goals that I have for December, to list 10 items a day or very close to that number. Another goal I have is to start delegating at least some part of the listing process, just because that can be very time consuming, but I'm finding that a little bit more challenging. With pictures and inventory and other parts of the process, it's easy to teach. You just show which pictures to take, what angles, and it's fairly easy to learn. But when it comes to listing, there's so much that goes into it. You have to know about styles and brands and keywords and listing on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, especially eBay. That's very challenging. So I'm trying to figure out a way to simplify the process and to be able to teach it to someone so that they can do it how I want it done. So hopefully we make some progress in that area in December. And as far as sales, I'm really hoping to hit that 6K in a single month milestone. Last year in 2021, I had a goal of hitting $4,000 in sales in a single month. It took me all year to reach that goal. It wasn't until December that I made $4,000 in sales. This year I had set a goal to hit $6,000 in sales, and again here we are in December and I have still not hit that goal. But hopefully now that I have a little bit more help, I can finally reach that goal. That would be the perfect ending to 2022. So fingers crossed that I can make that happen. In the comments down below, let me know what is one of your reselling goals for the month of December. Here off to the side, I will leave a playlist filled with many more reseller income reports just like this one. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.